Hey guys, Mist here again for another video today, and we are going to be doing a new episode of our Ottawa Franchise Mode. So I'm just going to show you the lines on the AHL and the NHL team really quickly, and then we will get right into the episode. So, first line, we have Bobby Ryan, Kyle Turris, and Mikko Rantanen, in hopes that Mikko Rantanen does get as much does get some ice time so he can grow into a better player. And then second line we have Hoffman with Pajot and Stone, and Pajot's been ripping it recently in the Chell, so he's doing great. I believe he used to be a medium top 9, and I think he's a low top 6 because there was an update today that came out on NHL. So yeah, that's our second line. Then our third line, we have Wingles, Zetterberg, and Brassard, in hopes that Zetterberg and Brassard do not get too mad because Zetterberg's a first line forward and Brassard's a second line forward. But I'm giving them they have power play ice time, I believe. They should yeah. So they're on a lot of the extra on the extra special or on the special team. Sorry. So yeah, Tommy Wingles is on that line with them. And then our third line, we have Colin White, Zach Smith, and Nick Paul. So, yeah, kind of our fourth liners. So we have a depth forward, a third line checking forward, and a fourth line forward. So we should be good like that. And defensively, we have Eric Carlson with Cody Ceci, Mark Methot with Dion Phaneuf, and Chris Weidman with Jyrki Jokipaka. I do have Chris Bigras in the AHL because I want him to see if I can get some growth out of him, and he is playing alongside with someone which you will see in a minute. And our starter for the year is Ben Bishop. Hopefully, he can do better than what he did when we acquired him last year because he didn't do too great. He played like 20 some games, I think. I mean, a 9.12 is pretty decent, but he could definitely get better than that. Like the best in his career has been 930. In the NHL, it's been 926. So if he can at least do that, it'll be better. But yeah, so hopefully he can do better. He went 19 and 14. That's with the Kings and us. So hopefully he can do better this year than he did last year. So in the AHL, we have Philip All, Ryan Dzingel, and Francis Perron on the second line or on the first line, and then on the second line we have Lajoie, Gagne, and Schlappick. Third line we have Flanagan, Rodewald, and Dito Menico, Dito Menico or Dito Menicho, I don't know. And then we have Axon, Lepine, and Carlisle. So I have 3 defensemen on forwards because I do not have forwards signed. So, there we go. Hope they're gonna like that one. Defensively, we have Chris Bigras with Thomas Chabot. Basically the best defenseman that's not in the NHL right now. And second line, we have Ben Harper with Frederick Claesson. Claesson did really good in game 6 and 7 for the Senators. Unfortunately, they got eliminated yesterday. And then third defensive pairing, we have Wickstrand and Borowicki, or Borowicki, however you say it. And then goalies, we have Chris Dreiger as our starter, and then Mike Condon as our backup. But yeah, so we'll just get right into the simulation. Spent even only been 4 minutes and still spent more time than I wanted to on that. So I just want to get the simulation done as soon as possible. I don't know what I'm really looking for. We'll simulate the first month or so, or was it the first 2 months that I went to? I don't know. Whatever. We'll simulate a little bit. And for the scouting, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. If I want to do defenseman or offenseman. I don't know why I said offensive men. What? Do I want to look at defensemen or offensive players? Forwards, that's what I was trying to say. I'm freaking stupid. Forward or defenseman? I don't really need a goalie. Forward. Do I need forwards? maybe. Do I need defensemen? Not really. I don't really need defensemen, so we'll look at forwards for our scouting this year. We'll just do 6 weeks in the queue to start off. So, preseason games, not too big of a deal. It doesn't really give you that much of an idea of how well you're going to do. Hopefully, we can do decent this year, though, because I believe we just missed the playoffs in the last episode. I think. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% sure, but I think. But hopefully we can do better this year. So 5-2-0 in the preseason games, and then we lose our season opener against the Detroit Red Wings 4-3. Now against Tampa, we lose to them as well. Our first game home, we win that. Awesome. Yep, good for you, Scout Call. So we win against the Capitals 2-1. Calgary have yet to get a win, and they still have not now. And now against Buffalo, they're 3-2-0. We beat them 7-3. That was a good game. Oh, and then the freaking Eastern Conference final opponents just went against each other, and we got the best of them. Awesome. 3-1 loss, 4-3 loss. If we go on losing streaks, I really hope it's no more than 3 games in a row. If it's more than 3 games in a row, then I might try and look to do something. Not necessarily a trade, but like just editing the lines or something, because I really don't want us to get an extreme amount of losses in a row, because we can't afford that, especially if we're going to be a playoff team. Once we simulate up to Vancouver, we will go see what our rating. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's like a rating or not, but I think it's our status. Yeah, it's our status, and we will see if we're like a champion, or if we're a contender, or if we're considered a rebuilder or something. I'm assuming we're considered a contender, but hopefully we can do pretty decent. Rantanet's happy about his ice time, which I hope so. I do have him on quite a bit of ice time, or do have him getting quite a bit of ice time. So we aren't doing too bad so far. We are 10-8-1. If we could really pick up like a 5-game win streak, or 5 or 6 game win streak, that would be awesome. That'd be ideal. Or at least like a 10 or 11 game point streak. That would be awesome, because then we can get as many points as we possibly can, because we want to get them in earlier in the season before it's crunch time to get them at the end of the season. So simulating up to this Vancouver game, we are 12-9-2, which is not too bad in our first 21. Yeah, 21. It's pretty decent. I think that's 21, right? 23. I'm freaking special. So we will see. We are currently not in a wild card spot, but some people are growing offensively. We are now up to 93 goal offense. Who that was? Not sure. Maybe I think it might have been Zach Smith. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Don't recognize any changes. I'm pretty positive it wasn't Pajero. I think it might have been Zach Smith, to be honest. Alright, so we will go see what our status is looking like. I think we'll just go to the trade to see it like that, because it's easier. We are contenders, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so we have 38 contracts right now. Like, we could definitely sign some people if needed. We could sign Nico Hischier. I mean, he'd go down. I wonder if they would all go down to the CHL. I know Hischier would. I don't know about Nermi and Schnitt, though. Not like I need another defenseman in the AHL, but whatever. I'm not even going to worry about it. So, we will go see how the simulation continues for us. Currently at 86 locker room chemistry. If we can get it higher, then we can definitely do good, which will be ideal, because we'd like to get, like I said, I'd like to get as many points as we can. We'll simulate up to the Boston game in January. Against the Canucks, basically have the same record as us. We had a shootout loss. It's fine. We had a point. San Jose, 2-1 loss. As long as we get the important points against our divisional opponents, that would be awesome. So yeah, we did have a 3-game losing streak between the Yodis, the Canucks and the Sharks, but we got a point out of those 3 losses at least, which is better than none. So, like I said, as long as we don't really go on any more than a 3-game losing streak, we should be good. But at the same time, the Winnipeg Jets in the real life 2017 season, they never went on a bigger loss streak than they never had more than 3 losses in a row throughout the entire year. But their biggest winning streak was like 5 or something. I don't remember, it was 3 as well. So, and they didn't make the playoffs. So it does show that you do need some wins. I am not giving up Perron. Dennis Seidenberg would be a pretty good defenseman, but I don't want to give up Perron. He looks like he has quite a bit of potential. Sorry if I just broke your ears, by the way. And I'm just looking at the calendar right now. Like, I've just been talking, but I just looked at the calendar. And we lost 9-4 to Carolina, which I don't know if they're a divisional opponent or if they're in the conference. I know they're in the conference. I don't know if they're a divisional team, though. We did beat Toronto there, which is a divisional opponent. Now against Boston, which is a divisional opponent as well. I wish we had their record. Like, damn, they're doing a lot better than us. Like, we are 18, 17, and 4, which just really isn't good. We're like just at 500, basically. Yeah, we are. Is that last? Are we last? Just one sec. We will see. Erik Karlsson's doing good, 38 points right now. We aren't last, which is good. So yeah, Carolina isn't in our division. Who's doing great? The Flyers, the Leafs, and the Caps. Who's doing the worst right now? The Devils, Oilers, and Red Wings. So, I mean, we're doing a lot better than them, which is good. But ideally, I would like to pick it up if we can. Like, we do have 40 wins, and we are in the last. We're like just out of a wild card spot, so hopefully we can do better. Our AHL team isn't doing very good either. They're 14, 17, and 3. I just want to see Chris Bigger, see if he's grown at all. It's pretty early. It's kind of early in the season, though, so I don't know. Ryan Dzengel's up to an 80. Perron grew a few overall as well. Biggers is still an 83, so if Biggers doesn't grow, I'm going to have to send Yerky Yoki Paka down next season and Biggers up, and hopefully he does grow. But we will just continue simulating, I guess, to see where we end up. We'll simulate up to the trade deadline, because normally it's just like the best players that make the All-Star game, which is usually, or the All-Star events, yeah. The All-Star events, which is usually like Erik Karlsson, and since I have, okay, we just went on a 3-game losing streak. Alright, there we go. So since we had, since we have Zetterberg as well, I think he might go 4-3 loss to a win. We're at 500 right now. We really just aren't that good. Can we beat the Islanders? We can't. Can we beat the Red Wings? They aren't a good team. There we go. Awesome. We need to get as many points in our division as we can, or against our divisional opponents as we can. The Islanders, the Red Wings. So we get another game against the Red Wings here in a minute. Now at the All-Star break, currently 23, 23, and 4. Come on, boys. Hopefully that break can help you out so we can get going. You need these points if you want to make the playoffs. 4-3 loss. Come on, it's Detroit, man. Pittsburgh, we beat them. Carolina, 3-1 loss. We are just steady under 500 now. Like, we lost to LA, or we're going to at least, because our freaking, yeah, there we go. I don't know what I was trying to explain, but freaking 25, 26, and 4 right now. Not looking good for the Ottawa Senators this year. I'd be shocked if we make the playoffs. And, like, looking at how we're playing right now. I mean, 4-game win streak. Sorry if there's a long break. Come on, boys. If we can get going after that break, that would really help out. It would really mean a lot as well, because it's ideal. Like I said, to get as many points as we can is the ideal option, so still on that winning streak, which is good. Really should be getting this amount of wins anyways against the Islanders. Shootout loss against the I almost said Rangers for some reason, against the Devils. They're 19-35-7. If we lose, thank you. It's a close game. There we go. We brought the record up. So from our Dallas game, we went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and our last 10 were 9-0-1, which is really good. And Birmingham or Binghamton, I don't know why I said Birmingham. Binghamton have also brought their record up, which is good. So we're now at the trade deadline. I'm not looking to make any moves. I don't really need to, or I don't really think I should. And now that the team is pretty happy, we're at 88 locker room chemistry. Someone has been growing on defensively as well, so really don't need anything, I guess. So we will just continue simulating. Cody Ceci grew in overall, which is good. Happy about that one. Hopefully he can grow as much as he can this year as well, because I like for him to be a high player or high overall player like he can be. And I think Yoki Paka also went up one. How is Bishop doing this year? We'll see really quickly. It's gone up a little. 64 games with a 918. Oh god, Hammond sucks. 853. Holy. I have automated goalie rotations off, so the only games that Hammond has played is the ones that Bishop has been pulled from, and he has an 853. Like what? He has a 5.71 GAA. Wow. Okay. Bishop is doing pretty decent though. Like 918 is okay. Is decent, and then a 251 is pretty decent as well for the GAA. So we'll continue on simulating, I guess, probably to the end of the season, and we'll see where we get up to. Yeah, so we got like 18 games left, I believe. Hopefully we can do this. So now we'll simulate up to our Toronto game because they're a divisional opponent. We beat the Blues, awesome. Now on a 2-game win streak. Now against the Flyers, they're a pretty decent team. We get a point from them, which is good. Anaheim's a pretty decent team. We get 2 points from them. Oilers are at 500. We get 2 points from them. So we're still on a really long point streak, which is good. Still are, which is awesome. I didn't even look at the standings to see where we were. I completely forgot to. I'm sure you guys noticed it, but I completely forgot to. 3-day break to go against Tampa. Can we beat Tampa? Oh, they're a good team. We get a point from them now. We have a back-to-back against them, which is This is game number 2. It's up in Ottawa. Got to edit this scouting assignment real quick. We'll see how we do against Tampa. 3-2 loss, and they end our point streak, which is like a 16-game point streak, I'd say. Probably, roughly, maybe even more than that. But we continue it now against Tampa again. They're really good. They hit 40 wins. We just hit 40 wins, though, as well. So that's good. We actually might have hit 40 wins before them. So that means we really brought our record up. Like, we haven't been losing very much. And this is realistically how we should play. Unfortunately, we get shut out against the Canadians, which is kind of bad because they're divisional opponents. So I want to see what our point streak was. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15-game point streak, which is really good. And the majority of those were 2 points each night. There was only 3 of them that were 1 point, which is really good. And then we lose to the Canadians, but we are a lot better than them. So we will see. We are currently in a wildcard spot, so Toronto have already clinched. So we really don't need to give Toronto any more points. So if we can beat them here, this would be very good. And I think that could bring us up to over Buffalo. Or I know it could bring us up to over Buffalo if we do win, which would be ideal. Van Riemsdyk, then Phaneuf on his former team, then Komarov and Stone, Brassard and Rantanen, and Reichel makes it a 1-goal game. Then Phaneuf gets another one. on the former team, and then Cody Ceci buries the empty netter. 6-3 win over the probably or the potential conference, or not conference, the division champions. So we'll advance a day to our Montreal game. Really don't want to give them any points because it would be awesome for us to get the points, or to get the points against them, just so we don't give them an edge to even get closer to us. Worst case scenario, we get 1 point from them. There we go, 2-0 after 2, and they tie the game over. At least we get a point. All right, that's ridiculous. We were up 2-0 going into the third. Come on, it's Montreal. They aren't that good. Like, they're 40, 32, and 7. We're 42, 29, and 8. We're a lot better than them. Whatever. Against Detroit now, if we suffer points to Detroit, I'm going to be mad. We really don't, or we really shouldn't lose points to them. So I think if we win this game, we might be insured for the playoffs. Yoki Pekka and Larkin, we get a point, and we lost. Come on. Dude, why are we losing to the shit teams in our division? Oh my god. Still haven't clinched. If we had won, we might have clinched, but if we don't win, well, it depends on how Florida does. Our last game of the season is against Florida, and that's going to be the most important game. If we don't win this game and they win their next game, then they will be 3 points behind us. I don't know if they have 2 games left, so actually they can't catch us, so that's good. No matter what, they can't catch us if they get all their points, so that's good. Thank you, game. But that was ridiculous, losing to both our 2 of our bottom seeds in our division. Okay, that's more like it. I don't know what it is against Toronto. Holy shit. 8-2 victory over Toronto. Alright. Who are the 3 stars? Phaneuf again, doing great against the former team. 2 goals and 1 assist. What a beauty. That's 4 goals in the last 2 games against Toronto for him. Alright, so there we are now, basically in a wild card spot. Oh, frig me, yeah. Depending on how the other division is doing, we might not even make the playoffs. So this is actually a really important game. We really need to get at least a point. If we don't get a point, then we could be screwed on making the playoffs. This is the most important game of the season. First period, we're down 1. The second period, we're still down 1. I'm just gonna slow send the third. Like, come on, man. We're out shooting them 22-15. Come on. Oh, I can't, dude. This game is so random. Like, how are we losing to the worst teams? Thank you, Carlson. Here we go. We tie the game. We need a point, a minimum of 1 point, to ensure us in the playoffs. And even then, I don't know if we are guaranteed. We'll just sim overtime and the shootout, and we lose again, man. Come on, no. That if we miss out on the playoffs because we lost. There we go. Okay, I was getting sad. I was getting sad. Just said that the regular season has ended, and you didn't have an X beside our logo and team name. Oh man, I was getting sad for a minute. Friggin' hell, goddamn. All right, we will see who our playoff opponent is. The number 1 seed in our division, the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, the Ottawa Senators. No, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 48-win Tampa Bay Lightning. Rough. Rough. We will see how well they did. We'll look at all the stats. Erik Karlsson with 63 points in 82 games is okay. Kind of upsetting that no one else is doing better than that, though. I'm glad Zetterberg's still here, but he might retire this year, even though we are a playoff team. Damn, he has 24 goals. Damn. What a beauty. Who had the most goals for us? Mike Hoffman? Yep, then Zetterberg, then Ryan, who had the most assists. Probably Karlsson. Yep, 45. And then, yeah, most points was Karlsson. How did Bishop do? And see if freaking Hammond might have picked it up for any other games he had to play. We'll see. He had a 918, which is okay. I mean, better than what he had last year. He had a 912. I think I might have said 918 when I was looking at his stats for some reason, but he has a 918 this year, which is better than last year, and a GAA, which is also better than last year. Really wish he could go for that 2016 season, a 926 and a 206. That's really good stats. Let's see if Hammond had to play any other games. Played 4 games. He brought his GAA down quite a bit and brought his save percentage up quite a bit, so good for him. That was good. 911 save percentage, okay. So we'll go look at all the skaters in the league to see how everyone did. Probably, yeah, I was going to say it's probably usually the Lightning. The Lightning trio of Palat, Kucherov, and Stamkos. Stamkos, though, took the hell off. 114 points, 96 overall. Tarasenko also 96 overall. He's a high. Do I have him as a high franchise, or is he a high franchise? I don't know. Damn. And then you usually see Sagan have been up there as well. Giroux and Voracek. Yeah, it's basically just the people that you normally see. Line A with freaking 60 assists. Who was scoring for them? All right, we'll see. I'm assuming Stamkos has the Maurice Richard, and yeah, almost 60 goals. That's crazy. 1 goal, he would have been at 60 goals. That's ridiculous. I want to see who was scoring on the Jets, where Line A had so many assists from. I wonder if it's Scheifele or Wheeler. Yeah, Scheifele had 32. What about Wheeler? If he's playing with Wheeler as well. Looking, don't really see anybody. Wheeler, yeah, he had 27. So both Line A's line mates had a lot of goals. How about assist? Klingberg, he had 6 goals, but he had 68 assists. Palat, you always see up there with the assist machine. Usually, like Erik Karlsson got 63 points. You usually would see Erik Karlsson around 64 assists, or 63 assists, I should say. But Kucherov had a lot of assists too. I hope so, though. Given Stamkos 59 goals, you usually see more goals out of assists from him. And then there's Line A, he's like top 7. Yeah, he's 7th for most assists this year at 60, which is really good. Teuvo, he's up to an 88, damn. Yeah, basically just the people you normally see with assist. Matthews looking good, 56 assists. So we'll look at the, or not the Jets, we will look at the goalies. See who was probably winning the Vezina. I was watching a video and someone called it the Vezina the other day. I laughed so hard, like, why are you calling it the Vezina? It's Vezina. Holtby with a 212 GAA in 71 games and a 929 save percentage. He probably got that locked up. Cam Ward did really good, 218 at 57 games. Yeah, damn, if it wasn't Holtby, it would definitely be Cam Ward. Good for him. And freaking after that, Matt Murray, and then Allen, Lundqvist, Rusk, yeah, Rusk, freaking Rask, man. Yeah, so Holtby got it, probably. Holtby normally gets it. He simulates really well. Too bad he can't play on a winning team in real life. Oh, rip Capitals fans. All right. Shouldn't say anything. I used to be a Capitals fan. All right, so here are the playoff brackets for the 2017-2018 season, I believe. That's what season we're in. So in the West, we have Dallas versus Nashville, St. Louis versus Chicago, Anaheim versus Calgary, which was a real round 1 matchup in this year's playoffs, and then Arizona against Minnesota. Then in the East, we have the Blue Jackets versus the Flyers, the Penguins versus the Hurricanes, the Leafs versus the Sabres, and the Lightning versus us, the Senators. So, hopefully, everything works out and we become a pretty decent playoff team. Might be a little rough. I think we're going against the number 1 seed, potentially in our conference. I didn't check that. We will go see. Definitely, yeah, I was going to say, definitely number 1 seed in our division. And they won the President's Trophy. So, yeah, this could be a little rough for us, or we could be going for a rough ride. We finished 10th, which isn't too bad, but they finished first. Damn, rip the Capital. Did the Capitals not make it? Capitals didn't make it. Neither did the Rangers, man. The stupid Metro was ridiculous. Like 93 points, 95 points, and you're not making the playoffs? That's crazy. I know the Rangers aren't there, and yeah, neither are the Capitals. Damn, that's crazy. Freaking Hurricanes and Flyers, you usually don't see them up there in the playoffs first year, or in these sims. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the episode here. Hopefully you did enjoy it. A long one, but we got the whole season done. We got quite a bit done. Actually, really quickly before we end, we will see how Chabot and Bigris are, to see how they grew, or see if they grew. So Bigris is up to an 84, and Chabot was, I think Chabot was like a 73 or a 70 at the start of the year, so that's good. Yeah, he did pretty decent. So yeah, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching, and that's going to be it. Next episode, we take on the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the playoffs. Thank you for watching, guys. See ya.